Is it permitted to make monetary claims against one's father, one's mother, or one's Rebbe, such as in front of a Bezdin and the like, and certainly not in front of a Bezdin, but just between you and your parents or you and your Rebbe? So we all know how much the Torah emphasizes the mitzvah, the biblical command of honoring your father and mother, who has spent much time and much energy and much money in educating you and bringing you up. And so too how much the Torah emphasizes the mitzvah and obligation to honor one's Rebbe who taught him Torah and merits him to enter the world to come. And therefore the question is asked whether part of honoring your parents and your Rebbe is to avoid making monetary claims against them, even when the truth is on your side. With any other person you would be able to extract the money from them. Or perhaps since they are your parents, and since this is your Rebbe, you should ignore it, avoid it, take the loss, don't make a monetary claim against them. After all, they are your parents, this is your Rebbe. So what does Halach have to say about this? So we have a clear Gemara in Maseches Erechin 23a regarding Rav Huna. The Gemara there states that Rav Huna was not doing financially well at all. He needed money. His father was wealthy, he had money, and was refusing to give his son money. And Abaye said the following option that his son can do, Rav Huna. You see, when Rav Huna got married, his father was a guarantor on the ksuba. So Abaye said, let Rav Huna divorce his wife. Since he can't pay her the ksuba, he'll take his father to court to make his father pay the ksuba. And then he'll remarry his wife. The Gemara goes on to discuss how can one give such a immoral, conniving advice to take advantage of one's father, and the Gemara deals with it there. But nonetheless, the idea that's learned from this Gemara is that there's no issue with making a monetary claim against a parent, irrelevant of all the mitzvahs that we're required to do in terms of honoring your parents and fearing your parents. And so is recorded halacha in the Tshuvas Hagainim and in the Torah chapter 240 and in the Ramah chapter 240 halacha 8, in which it states that it's permitted to take one's father or mother or Rebbe to court to file a monetary claim against them. So for example, brings the Ramah, if one's father damaged one's item, one's allowed to ask him to pay for it, and if he refuses to pay, one's allowed to take him to court so the court forces him to pay for the damages. So we learn here something very interesting, that while one has a mitzvah min HaTorah to honor and respect his father and mother and Rebbe, when it comes to money, to monetary claims, you are not required to forego those claims, and you may demand them from the parent, even if it means taking them to court. Now, what is the suggested practice? So this is from the letter of the law. It's mutter, as we explained in the Poskim. But is this a suggested thing to do? So you have some Poskim who learn that it is a midas chasidus, an act of piety, to take the law and not take a parent to court in order not to cause him pain. Even though you're in the right, it's a midas chasidus to let it go. So writes the Sefer Chassidim in 584, based on a story that he brings. He brings a story that there was an individual who loved learning Torah and wanted to continue learning, but his father really wanted him to get married. So his father made a deal with him before the marriage that I will pay for all your expenses so you can continue to sit and learn after your wedding, and you'll get married. And so it was. He got married, but when it came time to pay, the father refused. So his acquaintances told him, you guys made a deal. Take your father to court. And he replied, I don't want to cause my father pain. And they replied, but we have a Gemara here in Erechin regarding Rav Huna that it's mutter. And he said, nonetheless, I don't want to cause my father pain. And based on this, the Poskim can record that it is a midas chassidus not to make a monetary claim against one's parents in order not to cause them pain. However, not all Poskim record this act of piety written in Sefer Chassidim, such as the Knesset Agdayla, even though he usually brings the words of the Sefer Chassidim. In this case, he omits it. Nonetheless, despite all this and the halachic allowance to make a monetary claim, a child, a son, a daughter, and a student should also always take into account all the good that the father, mother, and Rebbe has done for them, and ask themselves, do they really feel comfortable, do they really feel right making this monetary claim, which will cause the parent tsar and agmas nefesh. Certainly one who decides to forego on his claim is allowed to do so. He's not obligated to make the monetary claim, and at times so may be the proper advice of how to go about things. However, in the event that the son or daughter or student does make a monetary claim, he has the halachic right to do so, and the parent must know that they are not exempt from making a payment just because it's their child, and they have to abide by all the halachic rulings of monetary laws, even with their son and daughter.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at www.shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.